Hey, you guys. Happy Monday. It is October 7th. You are watching Why Am I Yelling? And I am Krista Rizzo, and I am talking today about frustration. Woo! I'm talking about frustration today because it's really all I'm seeing out there. And I don't know if there's something going on in the cosmos or if there's an energy shift happening. I don't know what's going on, but I have been talking to and noticing that there are a lot of people out there that are feeling frustrated right now. And so, show of hands, how many of you have ever experienced frustration or experience it more often than you care to admit? I will admit that. I actually had a interaction today and I had to walk my words back because I was feeling frustrated and I started to say something and was like, check yourself and then rewrite these words because I feel your frustration coming through. So there are so many areas of our lives where we can feel frustration. And a lot of times it can feel suffocating and overwhelming. And especially when that is happening when we are um, vulnerable at the moment. And a lot of times it's where our first frustration uh, overflows. So if you've ever felt frustrated in a job, you're feeling, overworked and unappreciated and stressed out, and maybe you're in a toxic work environment and it's really, really not fun to be there. It's frustrating. If you are in a relationship, in a marriage, in a partnership, and you're feeling invisible and unseen and unheard and just ready to explode because you have so much to say and there's not a reciprocal thing happening between the two of you in a friendship with your parenting. Your kids aren't listening. You're so frustrated that nobody's picking up their stuff all over the living room floor. And I had that conversation the other day with my kids. I said to my husband, I was like, I cannot, this happens once a year. We have to have this conversation because at some point I am going to explode and I can't do all of the things. I can't make dinner and do laundry and pick up all of their junk. I mean, we have two kids who are old enough to help. And so they need to be helping. And so we had to have that conversation again because I was feeling frustrated and angry. And I didn't want to upset anybody because it's not really an upsetting conversation. But the person I was upsetting the most was me because I was walking around in a huff. And I don't want to walk around in a huff. I want to have a good weekend too. I want to be able to enjoy myself. I want to be able to go outside and hang out with my friends and go to the park and take the kids to their birthday parties and things that we have planned. And I want to do it without having to think about all of the things that are left for me to do when I get back home. I feel your frustration. And I know how that feels because, like I said, it has been me over the last couple of weeks, really. Different areas of my life. I'm frustrated with this over here and over this over there. And I know that when things like this happen, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you've taken on a lot and you are expecting to come through this period of your life, this cloud, this frustration that you're feeling, and you're not there yet, but you can see it, you can almost taste it, you can almost touch it, because you know that on the other side, relief is coming, help from your kids, um, a promotion or a different job, a uh, more time for yourself. How many of us have ever been frustrated with the way that we're treating ourselves? Everybody, show all of your hands. Because we neglect ourselves first. We stop going to the gym because we've got too much to do at work. We stop, you know, going to see our friends because we don't want to spend the money. There's so many things that we get frustrated for that we don't focus on. I want to lose weight, but I'm not doing anything about it. I'm frustrated that it's not happening. Or what's even worse is I'm really working hard and I'm not seeing the results that I am expecting. And so, how do we overcome that frustration? How do we deal with it? Because a lot of times it's overcomable. All the time it's overcomable, but really we need immediate relief and we want something to be able to do right now. I want right now immediate action to be taken so I can feel some kind of relief from my frustration. And so most of the time for me, when I am feeling that way, I need to step away from whatever it is that I'm feeling frustrated by. So the other day when I was having the conversation with my husband about the kids and how they needed to help more and how they needed this and that, whatever, I took myself out of the situation. I said, here's how I feel. Here's what I want. Here's what I need. And now I'm going to go so you guys can figure it out. And so I went to the store and I did what I needed to do. And I just kind of felt better because I pulled myself out of the situation. And I reevaluated it. And I said, okay, is it really worth it to be this frustrated over this stuff? You've said your piece. And now when you go home, you know in your head what you want to see, but if you don't see what you think is going to be there, is that going to make you even more mad? And so I kind of made a deal with myself to say, okay, you know what? This stuff is all a process, and I can't expect it to be a complete, resolution in one sitting. But I will say that I was pleasantly surprised because I came home and the beds were made and the clothes were put away and everything was done that I typically do because I don't want to have to deal with having to ask 27 million times. But when I removed myself from it and said, you guys figure it out, and I don't care how long it takes you, just get it done. That's one example. When you're feeling frustrated at work, stand up and walk away from the project that you're doing. Take a break, go downstairs, get some air, grab a coffee, or talk to somebody who you trust, who will guide you or counsel you or just listen to you, because most of the time we just need to be heard. There's so much noise happening in our lives. We're so distracted by all the things around us that we are not taking enough time to take a minute. It really only takes a minute to center yourself and get grounded and really just reevaluate. Like that email that I was writing this morning, I wrote it and I was about to hit send and I was like, no, those are not the words you want to use. That is, a lot of times I tell my clients to do this. Don't put, the return address in the email, just write it out and write it out in your frustrated voice and then go back and redline it and edit it and be like, okay, I don't want to say this and I don't really mean this. And because so often we snap, especially if we're at the end of our rope. And I completely and totally understand how and why that happens. So if you are feeling overwhelmed at a job or you're working on a project and you just can't put the puzzle pieces together just yet, you haven't figured it out, step away and take a minute for yourself. Find a quiet space and just get centered. Really think about what it is that you want from this experience. What am I expecting out of this project? What am I expecting out of this piece of my job? What am I expecting about this new adventure that I'm going on that I'm frustrated about because things aren't going the way that I thought they were going to go? And have some grace. Allow yourself some grace to be able to make mistakes. And sometimes you're going to send that email and you're going to have to apologize and talk yourself and walk yourself back. But that's okay too, because you got the frustration out, right? And so when you're feeling frustrated and you are not sure how to deal with it, my immediate advice for immediate relief or result is to take a minute and really evaluate what it is you want out of that particular moment in your life. Be grateful that you're having this moment because there are people that wish they had that moment. I know it sounds crazy, but there are. And really center yourself and get grounded and think about how you want the outcome to show up. Your frustration might clear, it might get easier, and it certainly can help you. Those are my thoughts for today on frustration. I hope you're having an awesome day wherever it is that you are, and we will be back here later this week with more good stuff. Bye, everybody.